You're listening to the Get Rich podcast. This is not a financial advice podcast. This is a podcast with two friends talking about how to get rich. Thank you for listening.
John,
Yes, Tyler.
I've got an idea.
Awesome. It's about time.
What smells? The
Is it-
smell one was a solid one.
It was an idea.
I think that either way, this one kind of fills me with dread.
Let's hear your dreadful idea, Tyler.
Writing and selling books with AI.
Like AI Lewis.
Like
Instead of CS, you're replacing the...
yeah.
Get it?
Yeah,
Get it?
like AI Lewis. That could be your pin name.
I just want to get rich. Get rich.
Get rich, get rich,
So I'm gonna start a podcast.
get rich, get rich,
How come no one's ever done this?
get rich, get rich.
Now it's time to.
Now it's time to get rich. It's
AI Lewis.
Yeah, so I've seen lots of ads for this, right? I've seen this around, get your creative idea out there. Write your book today, with this AI tool, write a book in I saw one that's like 3 days. It's like, with just an email, write a book. With just an outline, write a book.
I mean, yeah, I guess I am a advocate. I wouldn't say like a proficient user of Chat-GPT.
I don't know if I'd call you proficient, but you do use it
I like it.
frequently. You're a frequent user.
I would say maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Um,
Anytime that I can't come up with a name, John's like, hey, here's a name.
And I'll give him a list of like 10.
And I'm like, did you just use Chat-GPT? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, then what do I need you for?
Listen, if you're trying to come up with a name for something and are not finding one yourself that you really like, I don't just ask Chat-GPT and find my favorite on the list. It'll help spur ideas of your own where you can combine different words they had or elements.
Yeah.
It's using robots to enhance the human mind. It's that interface, the interaction between them. That's where it's at, man.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. I don't know. This site...
But you want to give a program like ChatGPT the idea for a book, tell it to write the book, and then say, I wrote this book? Or would it be better to say a robot wrote this book?
Okay, full confession. I don't actually want... Like I said, this fills me with such dread. But I think...
You don't even want to do this idea? Are you morally okay with doing this idea?
I'm very conflicted. I think...
Well, I have
I think that this could be used to make money.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily that it's okay. I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with it.
Listen.
I don't think there's anything morally wrong with it.
You do what you did like in, middle school, high school. You're not plagiarizing if you take something and just change a few words every now and then.
Well, this wouldn't even be plagiarizing. I mean, a lot of these things they say you can freely use this however you want. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just an example.
Yeah.
You take what the robot gives you, you change a few words. It's yours. You've modified it.
I've never done that, by the way. I never plagiarized.
I did that in high school. I don't think I got caught either. But if you change it a little, modify it, then you don't have to feel morally weird about... You were like that. No, ChatGPT wrote the article. You were the editor. The final say, the publisher.
I don't know. Just, look, I'm bringing you this idea as a way to... Okay.
Except I have a few... Does anybody buy books anymore?
Yes, people buy books.
Not as many as they used to.
People
I think
buy
if you were to look at
books.
the trend over the past 20 to 30 years,
there are many books.
Yes. Millions of books are sold a year, but just guessing with logic, using logic to apply this, I would probably guess that, this is books 20 years ago, and now it's probably less and less are bought each year. I would just be guessing.
Maybe.
But still millions are sold a year.
And there are still digital books. Digital books certainly outsell physical books.
Yeah, like I don't read books that often anymore. I drive a lot when I work. I'll put on an audiobook. It's the same thing. It's probably better in a way.
Like, as far as
But you count an audiobook as reading a book? I know some people don't.
I don't count it as reading a book. I count it as no. I count it as processing that story. Like that's what we're doing. Like, stories are where the value is, and I don't care how you take that story in. You know, like we write stories to teach people, we read stories to learn, and either we read the story, we watch the story, we hear the story, or we play the story in a video game. We are still learning through that process. And I think that goes to the core of what bothers me so much with this idea is the story is there to teach you about the human experience.
I think, though, if you didn't just say, hey, write me a book that will appeal to this age range or something.
Yeah.
If you said, I want it to have a hero or heroine, I want it to show them struggle. If you gave it a bunch of bullet points, it was your idea. They just did the time-consuming work of putting it all together. If you made an extensive, detailed outline, I'd feel fine,
Yeah.
doing it.
Okay. And that's kind of why I'm pitching it, because I think that you would feel better about this idea than I would.
I will steal this idea and I will do it.
Like,
I just don't know how much of a demand there is in what kind of books are you thinking?
Anything. I mean, there are so many books that get sold and bought and read.
A common one is just throw some vampires, some magic, put it in that YA, like I'm a teen or I'm almost a teen. Let's have angsty whatever.
Yeah.
That's a big category.
Yeah.
Popular one.
My reading lately has been so weird. I don't read a lot, but I read more articles. I've got some, books that I'm in the middle of reading, or some that I pick up every now and then. One that's about architecture, and I don't do anything with architecture. But it's not about building as much as it is about our way of being. A pattern language. It's great. Read it. Find it. Buy it.
So great he hasn't finished it yet.
It's not meant to be read through and through. It's meant to be picked up and never mind. I read about this idea, and sometimes I read about reading, and I read a lot of articles about reading yesterday.
That sounds fun.
It's weird, but not like the pedagogy of reading. Not because I'm a teacher reading about reading. I'm never mind.
Fascinating.
I've read about this idea, and it does happen. There are fantasy romances that are AI written.
I'm sure there's a bunch of them.
And people,
are they saying it's AI written, or are they saying this is something I wrote?
You don't have to.
Yeah, but I don't know. I would almost say write a book about robots and be like, this was written by a robot. That seems, like it could almost be like a special, a tag you could throw on it, I don't know.
Well, if we've done that, if someone did that every few months, rewrite this book, gave the same prompts to the AI.
Oh, there you go.
Rewrite that. That's a series. Now I'm on board.
AI Lewis.
The thing is, you don't. I think you wouldn't want to go. I think the easiest would be factual information, and I don't know if you would want to go factual. Because I did read...
most books bought are probably fiction stories.
Yeah. I read about a factual book that was written by AI that people bought on Amazon.
What was the topic?
Foraging.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people got sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
It made mistakes?
Yes. Yeah. So that's why I'd say don't go factual.
Well, yeah. There could be, if it could be about anything people could consume.
Yeah.
Maybe not, yeah. Anyway, But I just had an idea where probably one of the most simplest books you can make that are probably one of the biggest sellers as well. Children's books. It's like a sentence a page, like 10 to 30, 40 pages.
Yeah.
The only thing is, though, pictures.
There's a lot of illustration involved with the children's book.
Robots can do that now, Tyler.
I know. Well, I mean, where do you think some of the imagery for our posts come from?
There you go.
Like, I do a lot of the photo editing on it, but I start with a base sometimes usually I start with a base from one of those programs. Yeah.
Yeah, and it'd be so simple to do. Like, for example, I want a children's book where the main character is a baby dragon, and I want it to teach them a lesson that they should be careful around strangers. It'll just write the book. And then after it writes the book, you give it, 10 image prompts for a 10-page book.
I feel like a children's book,
You could do anything. Like moral lessons you want to teach children, you just tell Chat-GPT, it'll write you a book, man.
I feel like that's a different level of cheating.
No.
Because I just feel like a children's book,
I mean,
like
we could
you
just
said,
write that ourselves.
Yeah.
And then let Chat-GPT
New idea.
draw it.
We write a children's book.
Okay.
And we draw it. I'm not behind on any illustrations that you're waiting on.
You draw it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. There's totally not other things that need to be drawn related to this company or this podcast.
As it currently is, I'm not behind.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah. Like we've said previously, you could put that art degree to use. Or you could just... How long would it take you? Don't lie. How long would it take you to draw a single page of a children's book? Finished product from start to finish.
Like, really do it?
To make it where you would be okay with it being in a book.
If we're talking digitally, it would take me a while because I'm not
Just
comfortable
throw
yet
an
with
hours number of how long you think it would take you to draw.
If we were talking like a real physical medium, like, not paint. I'm horrible with paint, but last thing I did was
No,
in
I'm
crayons.
talking about drawing it digitally.
I'm not comfortable enough with the tools yet. It takes me a long time to play with those tools. But
you know who
if you
is?
give me a box of crayons,
Robots.
right,
I mean-
and some nice paper, I could get you a page 3 or 4 hours maybe.
Okay. So 3 or 4 hours of drawing with crayons. You would then have to scan it to make it a digital image that could be printed off in a bunch of books. And doing a digital one would take you at least double the amount of time, probably.
The first couple would take me longer, and then it would get a lot shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
How quick could a computer do it, Tyler?
It's
30
fast.
seconds?
It's real
3
fast.
minutes at most?
Yes.
Why would you ever want to draw again when you can just have a computer do it so much quicker?
What?
Listen, I've never
Why
been
would you ever want to draw again?
I can't draw. I'm not a good artist or painter, drawer, or whatever. I don't need to be. I have AI for that. If it's in here, I can just get the AI to make it out here.
These things aren't just for, like, I don't know. Those are experiences you do for yourself.
Anytime I would try to draw as a child, it would just not look how it was in my brain. And I would just be like, I don't like this.
That's kind of how I feel like this is, like, most of the time.
Oh, you
know?
have an image in your brain and AI doesn't quite
Well,
get
no,
to
like
it.
this, like what I feel like this is the same thing as like drawing in a way. For myself anyway. It's self-indulgent. It's like, yeah, other people are out there listening. Yes, we're putting it out there into the world for people to listen, but I think primarily it's self-indulgent, at least for me.
It's fun,
Yeah.
but that's, if your job's fun, then you're doing the right job, right?
Yeah.
But we need to...
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn, I think.
I did it.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. And now, a quick word from this episode's sponsor.
Hello there, it's Neil again with Neil's Knickknacks. My boy broke one of his action figures and didn't like the wood one I made for him. Kids and their plastics. Ended up buying one of those newfangled plastic printers, don't you know? Had him a new plastic arm in no time. So now at Neil's Knickknacks we're offering a whole bunch of plastic odds and ends. We've got tool handles and tiny soldier hands, gear shifters and pole handles. We can make them all here in the shop. You can even hang them on your wall. That'll cost extra. We're having a great day down at the shop, so come on over to Neil's Knickknacks.
And we're back. Doesn't feel natural.
See how
for
you
me.
did it that time?
Doesn't like.
You gave it your best effort,
I tried.
you know?
I tried. I'll maybe next time.
Yeah.
So
I think children's books are like the easiest, quickest. You don't have to feel morally bad. They all say the same thing. It's not like you're developing a detailed plot or anything. It's like a simple lesson. I want to teach my kid to clean a room. I want to teach my kid that sharing is good.
yeah.
Get the computer to do it all, man.
I don't know. That still makes me uncomfortable. I would feel better about, instead of like being the one who writes the books, like or prompts the AI to write the books, I would, and this maybe sounds worse. This might sound worse, but I feel better about it.
Okay,
to
I'll
be
be
honest.
the judge of that. Let's see.
I would feel better about offering a service that teaches people how to write these books and charging for that service than I would for actually being the one to do the books. And I realize that could be an issue, like, oh, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, you teach a man, he eats for his lifetime. So maybe it's making the problem worse by spreading it out. But I don't think most of those people would follow through.
I think you're overthinking this. I also think the market for people buying books about how to write better books is
No, you're not going to buy a book about how to write a book. You're going to sell a program. You're going to sell lessons. You're going to sell, the prompt ideas. You're going to sell
never
that
written
service.
a book.
I don't need to write it. Why do I want to write it? It doesn't matter.
How are you going to tell people how to write a book if
I'm
you've
teaching
never...
you how to use Chat-GPT to write the book.
People know how to use Chat-GPT.
But they don't know that they don't, or they don't know that they know. Right? I'm selling them the confidence
I feel
to do it.
even more morally...
You feel worse about that?
Yes.
How?
Because...
These are people that are grifters.
It's like a snake oil vibe almost. Where like, hey, here's something you really don't need, but you need it.
Yeah, but you're selling it to the people that are trying to sell snake oil. I don't know.
I don't even know if I
grifting the
understand what
grifter.
your idea is now fully.
You're grifting the grifter. Like,
state it again. What is your idea?
John, I want to teach you how to write books with AI.
Oh, okay.
For
I
$100.
understand your idea. Since they're using AI in the first place, it doesn't matter if I'm tricking them.
Yeah.
No.
Grifting the grifter. I'm okay with that.
That
What?
would never work. People already know how to use ChatGPT.
People do this.
Well,
I've seen ads for people like,
I would never do
follow
this.
this simple program.
I would never support this.
Follow my simple program on how to write a book using AI. Get your ideas, your stories out there today. Tap into your creative side. I don't know why I feel better about this.
I don't know why you do either. It seems more morally unjust than...
How? These, in my opinion, these are bad people.
You're tricking... No! You're not bad if you use ChatGPT to create something.
I don't know that. Like,
I know that.
It depends on what you're making. Okay?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because, when we create...
I don't agree with this.
If you create a story, right? You're creating characters, right? You are creating an entity in some way that will live inside someone's head for them to connect and build a relationship with, right?
Okay.
And I feel like that is a very, in many ways, intimate thing to do. And I feel like you should have a vision for that you direct. And
you did have a vision whenever you put in your detailed prompt to ChatGPT. I want X amount of characters. I want each of them to be this kind of character. They're already your characters. Listen, I agree with you. If you were to just put into ChatGPT, write me a 100-page book that will appeal massively to the YA audience, that I would not be cool with. If you just said that into ChatGPT, took whatever it spit out, I'm not cool with. But if you come in with a detailed plot point, detailed plot, detailed characters, say, I want, this character to have a struggle and overcome it, or I want this character to die and it makes this person, really upset, but they overcome it. You put in those kind of details, it's your story. You're just getting the computer to fill it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It just
be way cooler with that than tricking people into buying a course they don't need.
I'm not tricking them. I'm really going to show them how. I'm really going to do that. And the ones that I've seen, it's
things like saying drugs are bad, but I'll teach you how to sell drugs. It's kind of where you're coming from. Like, you don't like people making stuff out of AI, but I'm going to teach others how to do it.
Maybe flip it. Look, if I sold you drugs using this analogy, you don't know what's in them, right? Let me show you how to make them.
It'd be cheaper that way. No, I don't know. I think we're getting a little lost in the weeds here. AI is a powerful tool. It will be used more and more in the future.
Yes.
I think we should start using it to make money. I mean,
sure, but what happens when we get to the point, and I heard this on another podcast, because if you have a Google email account, you can like click a little button that will like do an auto reply, right?
Oh, okay. I've never used that.
Where I work, we have it, and I can auto reply to something, right? And it gives me a few different versions of how I might want it to say.
Oh, it's like when someone calls you on your phone and you can't answer it, so like it populates 3 things you can reply with almost, or something.
Similar to that,
okay.
Yeah. But some of them will actually, you can set up to some of the different web services, not Gmail, I don't think, but others will literally just auto-reply for you, right?
Okay.
What happens when the emails are just auto-replying to auto-replying? Like, where do we still fit into that?
Okay, I don't see what that has to do with using AI to help you write a book.
If we're using AI to write a book, and someone is using AI to review that book, and then someone else is using AI to promote that book,
tell them what books they should buy.
Yes. Then where are we?
We're making them dollar bills, man. That's where we are. Making the money with the help of robots. It's the future, man. I'm telling you. I like this idea.
So you think this is a good idea?
This is a great idea.
Okay.
We need to be nice to the robots. They're going to take over everything one day, so you got to be an ally. Is that commonly used for a different meaning? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Get Rich Podcast. Go to our website, getrichpod.com, or email us at jnt@getrichpod.com to let us know what you thought about an episode or to submit episode ideas. If you really want to support us, subscribe to our Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/getrichpod. Subscribers will have exclusive access to vote on ideas we try, access to videos of us doing the ideas, as well as weekly bonus content. Thanks for listening.